You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe your relationship can be stronger than ever after having a baby. It just takes tools, conversation, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, certified life and relationship coach, mom of two, and survivor and thriver of tough relationship challenges after babies. I'm committed to helping couples just like you improve your communication skills, connection points, and personal confidence so that you can have the life and family you've always dreamt of. Now, let's get to today's episode. Hello. Welcome back to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast. I'm your host, Chelsea, and today we're going to be talking about friendship. I like to call my friends sunshine skillets. It is the name of a dish from Bob Evans, actually, that I used to get as a kid. And for some reason, it became a thing in my family when we would say like, hey, sunshine skillet. And so now in my group text message, I send a lot of messages that say, hey, sunshine skillets. So open invitation. If you need a new nickname for your friends, you can call them Sunshine Skillet. But it's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about the importance of couples friends as a couple. The reality is that we become like the people we spend our time around, right? We know that. We think about that a lot in the like professional development world and the work world, but I want us to think about that on the couples and parenting side of things. The people that we choose to have friendships with become the people that set the tone for what we see and accept as normal, for what our kids see and accept in relationships. Friendships can be an awesome opportunity to expand your community and expand your village and bring cool role models, people that you want to emulate the kinds of values and energy that they bring. Or maybe, you would be proud if your husband or your partner emulated some of the characteristics from these friends, or even more so, people that you would be proud for your kids to grow up to be like and to have as role models. On the other side, we can have shitty friends. You can have people in your life that maybe their partner does not step up to the plate, and it sets a really bad example for, your own partner and your children. And I'm not saying today to ditch your friends because she has a shitty husband. That is a whole other topic, and it is a whole other bucket. I'm saying that probably goes into your friendships bucket. I was just talking to a mom on the Peanut app about this, and we were talking about how, she has her friends that kind of have a certain kind of energy and things they like to do, but her husband just doesn't really jive with them, and that's fine. And her husband has his friends, and, they have partners, and yet they're not feeling a lot of the overlap. And so there are people that go in like our personal friendship bucket and our partner's personal friendship bucket. And then there are people that go into our couple's friendship bucket. And that is the bucket I want to talk to you specifically about today. This feels really pertinent and pressing right now because it's back to school season, which means a lot of talking about helping kids make good friends, asking our kids about what makes a good friend to them, having conversations about being a good friend. But I want to challenge you to think about, are you living that out in your own life? Would your children say that they know the friends in your life that are interacting with you on a family type of level? This is also a conversation that's really near and dear to me right now because some of you know we moved out of our RV and into a house this month. It's 2 years ago. And to be very honest with you, I didn't realize it at the time, but in retrospect, I'm seeing this and I'm kind of cringing and I'm kind of laughing. But the first year here, I was like, I don't want to make no friends. I'm not staying here for a long time. I don't even like this place. I bet I wouldn't even like none of y'all. Like that is how I was feeling when we moved back to a small town in the Midwest where I saw lots of signs and political things that I didn't agree with. And I just thought, you know what? I'm not even going to try. And then I realized how silly that was because I was holding myself back from a lot of great opportunities, a lot of great people, and the opportunity to be in community, which I won't get too deep into our story, but our family used to be very active in the church. And that is where most of our community and our friendships, specifically our couples friendships, came from. And I think the last time we attended a church was in 2018, I believe. I don't think Sage has ever, and she's 6. I don't think she's ever been a part of a church community with us. And that is a whole separate topic that I'm not saying one way is better than the other as far as your faith beliefs and how you raise your kids. But I say that and I share that piece because I find that a lot of my clients are in a similar boat where they have left an organized community like religion, like the church. And in doing so, they lost a lot of their friendships. So I feel hard for you. I feel for you. I see you. I understand you. And even if you are part of a church community, I think that this really does resonate. This will resonate. This does pertain to you. But I wanted to make that little caveat because, again, a lot of my clients tend to be people who were previously in a church community and no longer are, and they're trying to figure out how to do community and friendships in a new way. So let me start by explaining why couples friendships are vital for both individual well-being and your relationship health. The community support, you guys, we need community support. Friends who are invested in your family provide a support system. They offer emotional and practical help during tough times. Seasons when we don't have these kinds of people to lean on can be very, very hard and isolating. Also, there's something great about our individual friendships, but the friendships where it's kind of couple to couple and family to family just have this extra layer sometimes of depth and understanding, which can be invaluable. And also, it's good for your relationship. Being around other couples who share similar values and goals really can reinforce your bond between you and your partner. And these positive role models in relationships can inspire growth and provide new perspectives on your conflict resolution, your communication, how you connect, like having these couples friends. And I'm not talking about like 20 couples that get together for wine night once a month. Like that might be true for some people, but I'm not saying that's what this needs to be. This could be 1 or 2 couples that you are intentionally connected with and share life with in a way that you maybe wouldn't with everybody else, to have real conversations and understanding. I know when Mike and I were first married, we did a book study with a couple of other couples, a couple of couples. I actually think it was like 3 or 4 couples. And it was so helpful to have that real conversation and that real talk because it helped us to see the areas where maybe we felt alone and we actually weren't, or we were able to learn from one another. And that worked because these were friends that we had shared values and kind of a shared outlook on the world. And I would trust that in most areas of life, the way they treated each other and the way that they would treat their children were things that felt good for me and felt good for us. And along those lines, this is role models for your children. Having friends who model healthy relationships offers a valuable example for your kids, helping them to understand what strong, respectful partnerships look like. But also, I know this can be tough. So I don't want to just make this seem easy breezy. I know that it's a struggle sometimes, especially in early parenthood, to make new friends. It's kind of like dating, right? We aren't sure how much is too much or too little, too forward or too reserved. And so you're kind of muddling through. You're being a little vulnerable. And I know it can be easier to just not enter the vulnerability, but I want to encourage you to be okay with messy muddling. Okay. It's for your good, for your higher good of your life and relationship in the long run. If you're a new parent, I know there are a couple of other factors that can make this especially difficult, but I don't want these to be excuses. I want these to be considerations that we have creative solutions for. And if you can't come up with those on your own, I will help you through coaching because I truly believe in the importance of these. I know that you have isolation and exhaustion, okay, as a new parent. And really, honestly, I don't know when it ends, but it's worse. I think it's the worst when you have a new baby at home. You have changing priorities. And especially those of you who are having babies for the first time, you may have less time and energy for the things that once were the core of your old friendships, especially if those friends aren't in the same life stage. I often talk to people who are the first of their friend group to have a baby, and I know that that can be a challenge as you're trying to figure out how to not completely disregard friendships that are in a different stage of life, but also build friendships. And I want to say again, this kind of goes to that bucket system where there are friends for certain things, but what I'm talking about right now are building the couples friends that are going to be those solid, consistent village people for you. You might feel insecure, comparing yourself to others or fearing judgment. Maybe you're not super confident. You're still kind of wobbling as a parent. And obviously, there are logistical challenges. Coordinating schedules is hell, especially with young children involved. And so it's easy to just be like, fuck it, this isn't going to work. But I don't want to encourage you to do that for years because it's worth it to have meaningful couples friendship in your life. So let's talk about some tips for doing that and making it happen. Number one is just the intentionality. Okay, so set goals together. Like, I literally want you to sit down with your partner and have a conversation about what kinds of friendships you want to build and why those are important. Aligning on these goals will ensure that you're both invested and committed to making an effort. Again, we're not looking necessarily for the bestie that we can always grab coffee with or the person that your partner goes golfing with once a month. Like, you can both do that on your own and fill those buckets. And sure, there's some overlap, but we're talking about those people that are living similar values to you that you would be proud to introduce to your parents or you would be proud for your kids to be like. And think about the existing networks that are in your area. This might be parenting groups, baby classes, community activities where you're likely to meet couples of the same stage. May I go so far as to saying that breweries are where a lot of people that I know have met friends. Put the baby, if you have a baby, put the baby in the carrier and go drink a beer if you like beers and say hi to someone else who's awkwardly drinking a beer with a baby. That can be a great way to start. Or maybe it's, going on a walk or a bike ride with the baby in the baby bike seat. There's probably a better word for that. But do the things that already make sense to you and start conversations with people, okay? The best thing that could happen from that is that you make amazing couples, besties, and friends, and people that become like part of your family. And the worst thing that could happen is that somebody walks away and they're like, oh, that person was kind of weird, and they never think about you again, okay? If that's the worst thing that can happen, just put yourself out there. Another way you can do this is hosting gatherings. So keep it low key. Like, most of you that I'm talking to are not going to have $1,000 what am I trying to think of? The word where people bring food. Catered. Like $1,000 catered and decorated get together. Like that, just that's for some people. And if that's for you, that's great. But if that's not for you, don't let that stop you from hosting a gathering. Start small. Start by inviting one or two couples over for a casual dinner or a potluck, or just order a damn pizza. Maybe it's a weekend brunch. We love brunch in this house. And so inviting people over and saying, hey, bring a brunch food. We're going to have, I'm typically like, we're going to have yogurt and fruit, and we'll supply the orange juice and drinks. You guys bring something that we can eat, and we're all just going to hang out, take time, take turns watching the kids and making sure that they stay fine, and have some adult conversation together. These low key situations can be really helpful. And here's my tip for that. If you don't want to have your house spick and span to hang out, then don't set the bar there. Find people who match your vibe. You don't have to invite people over that are going to make you nervous every time and then make you yell at your husband about all the shit that needs cleaned up and go on a whole meltdown before they come over. That's not going to be helpful. Find people who match your vibe and you feel comfortable having into your space. This could be a game night. This could be a brunch, whatever it is. And then lastly, if you enjoy getting to know someone, you enjoy a conversation, you have fun, express the interest. Let them know. It's a lot like dating, right? And we're out of practice with that, but follow up. Put the next get together on the calendar. It could be simple. It could be a walk in the park, literally or figuratively. But building friendships as a couple does require intentionality, vulnerability, and the willingness to invest time and effort into new relationships. But if you know that the benefit is that you're going to have good people in your circle, you're going to be building your community in a way that's meaningful to you, you're going to be able to not feel so isolated and alone, I think that's worth it. And as I wrap up, I want to encourage you to just take a small step today. Please, don't wait. Take a small step today towards building these friendships. And just know you're not alone, right? Every small effort can lead to a meaningful connection. But I also realize that this can be hard to do alone. Maybe you're working through some insecurity where you're not quite sure who you are as a mom because so much has changed. And if that's true for you, it can be hard to put yourself out there because how do you connect if you don't feel connected to yourself? I can help with that. I can help you with coaching with that. Similarly, if you and your partner don't feel connected or you're not quite sure what your key values are and what you want out of life and out of these friendships, I can help you with that. Okay, don't let that stop you. I can help you get clear about who you are as a team, where you're going, and how you can do that together so that you can feel really good finding friends that you can meet where they are and they can meet you where you are. I'm going to wrap up this session today, this podcast. It's a short one, but I really wanted to give you that nudge to invest in these friendships, especially you guys, those of you who are like me and you are in the Midwest or the East, and winter and fall are coming, which means more and more darkness. I mean, I know that's true for everyone, but I don't know, it feels so profound here in Central Ohio, but longer nights are coming, more darkness is coming, and I find that to be a time where I can feel super isolated, and having friendships during the winter season is vital for my mental health. And if that is you, I'm sorry, there is no time to waste. Let's make this happen. Let's get some people in your community that you and your partner feel good about, that are going to help enrich the life of your family and that can help carry you through the winter season, whether that is literally the cold winter season or whether that is, a dark, hard season that is coming up in life. We need people, we need community. Villages don't just happen in the way that they did in other generations. And so we have to put ourselves out there and work towards it. But if we want it, it's worth it. If you need help getting there, give me a call. Get on my calendar. Let's not make excuses. Let's make this happen. Love ya. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you take a minute to help spread the word. As a small business owner, shares and reviews go a long way. So share this episode with a friend, share it on your social media, and please leave a review if you haven't done so. This helps these messages get to more mamas, and you guys, that's how we change the world.